Star Wars Episode 8, Ben's Redemption. It's probably not going to be called that. I'm going to share my thoughts on Star Wars Episode 8 and the broad strokes of where I see the direction of these movies going. So I kind of just, sat and thought about a lot of theories and questions and stuff like that and came up with what I'm pretty certain is exactly what's going to happen in Episode 8. I'm not actually exactly, but kind of. You know what? It's going to be very vague. At the time of this video, Rey's lineage is still not confirmed. She could be a Palpatine, a Skywalker, a Solo, a Kenobi, or a nobody. So this is all somewhat of a general theory and might be a touch vague. In Episode 7, we got introduced to a new cast of characters. Rey, lots of mystery around her character, but ultimately she's Force sensitive. Uses Jedi mind tricks, uses the Force to pull the lightsaber from the snow, and has a vision when she touches Anakin/Obi-Wan/Luke's lightsaber, and then brings it to Luke Skywalker at the end of the movie, who had been in solitude for so long. I want to say that there is a measurement here that can be made on the potential strength of Luke Skywalker based on what we've seen in Force Awakens. So he's only been trained by Luke at this point, but somehow he learned to stop a blaster, and I've never seen that in Star Wars canon. So Luke is clearly strong enough to be able to train such an advanced technique to a Padawan of his. I wonder how many blasters Luke can stop. It's worth noting that by assuming Luke's strength and demonstration of power in the Force, as well as his fragile balance between light and dark, being a Skywalker, we understand why he went into solitude. He would be overcome by passion and rage, and what would be worse than the Last Jedi dying is the Last Jedi going to the dark side. So Luke, like Yoda and Obi-Wan did before him, disappeared into solitude because this was no longer his battle. He would bide his time until a new hope revealed themselves. So, where we left off from Episode 7, Rey is training with Luke, Finn is healing from serious wounds, Leia lost her son and indirectly her husband to Snoke, Poe is the best pilot in the galaxy. Episode 7 mirrored Episode 4, and my general thoughts on what Episode 8 will be kind of mirror Empire Strikes Back. Let's get into it. Rey is training with Luke. She wants to know who she is. He doesn't have that answer for her. She is slightly annoyed by his old school training, but he was trained by Yoda, so his techniques would be frustrating. This has callbacks to Yoda and Luke in Empire, by the way. I promise she will complain at some point, and he will make a joke about her not having to give him a piggyback. I promise that joke will happen. Chewie and R2-D2 will take the Millennium Falcon from this Solitude Island and bring it back to Leia. Kylo and Hux and maybe Snoke drama scene unfolds. We get a taste of the Knights of Ren. Finn is somewhere, I don't know. Wait for the movie. But he's with Poe. They'll be buddies, and Poe will be sick at flying because he's Force sensitive. Shout out to the Force tree outside his childhood home. Finn is a sick shot even though he's a stormtrooper, and it's worth noting that he shouldn't be underestimated. He's strong-minded enough to break the First Order brainwash, but also brave enough to turn around and face them. And Finn's bravery in this movie will be rewarded by Captain Phasma getting her revenge. She'll hand his ass to Finn, and then hand Finn and Poe to Kylo Ren. BB-8 will escape. Snoke tells Hux to keep an eye on Kylo Ren. Ever since his encounter with Rey, he seems different. Also, he sends Hux to find Leia to end the resistance once and for all, and simultaneously make Kylo emotional at the same time. Leia and Chewie meet Lando Calrissian. Honestly, I don't know why, and I don't know what the reason will be, but they will meet up and will love it. Lando will be happy to see Chewie, he'll be happy to see the Falcon, then they'll tell him Han is dead, and he won't be happy. Then they'll find out that the First Order is on their way to wherever they are. Lando will step up and be like, I got this. He'll die to buy them time. Chewie will rage out. Leia will stop escaping to save Chewie and get captured by Phasma, who will literally kick Chewbacca's ass just to make us feel bad and to be making up for Darth Maul and Boba Fett being underutilized in the past movies. Chewie will escape with the help of R2-D2 and BB-8, I bet. I don't know how, but the scene will happen and it will be hilarious because it's a Wookiee and 2 droids, maybe 3 droids, maybe C-3PO will be there. Actually, I'm not going to be mentioning the droids much anymore. They're around the whole time, either being really hilarious or really useful. Finn gets tortured by Kylo Ren to bait Rey out. Rey is training with Luke and she says her friends are in trouble. He tells her when he was training with Yoda and he felt his friends were in trouble, Yoda said to complete his training. But unlike the rest of the movie so far, he's going to say, I ain't Yoda. Then they're going to hop in the ship together. This ship will either be Luke's X-Wing or Darth Vader's shuttle that Luke escaped with in Return of the Jedi, and they're going to head to Finn since they know he's being tortured. When they get there, lots of First Order troopers will converge on them, and we get to see Rey using her lightsaber. This is still training. She used a staff growing up on Jakku, so I assume she will be wielding a double-sided lightsaber, but you have to walk before you run, so you won't see Rey pop open a double-sided lightsaber until the Episode 9 trailer. She'll be handling the troopers like a badass though, until we are reminded that she's a Padawan when blasters come from all angles. Everything freezes. Luke is flexing his Skywalker muscles. Stops the entire scene, just like Kylo did with that blaster, except on a much larger scale. Rey heads towards Finn. Luke feels something different, something dark and powerful. He must follow that instead, because he senses Leia is in danger, which she is. The First Order is now in possession of Leia, and Leia very well may be in the presence of Snoke. He must follow that instead. Rey will go to Finn and she'll duel Kylo. Luke will venture towards darkness. Here are my vague theories of what will happen at the end of Episode 8. I'm not sure of the exact order of details or the exact details themselves, but these events or something similar to these events is what I expect in the final act of Episode 8. Hux brings Leia to Snoke, and Snoke is like, thank you. Now go check on Kylo Ren. Rey and Kylo will meet outside in the rain like from the vision in Force Awakens. They will battle while Finn is left to slip away. He breaks out Poe and they escape. We enjoy an awesome lightsaber battle with Rey and Kylo while the Knights of Ren completely obliterate the poor suckers that got written into this scene. I don't know who they are or how they got there. There will just be other people to be killed. Rey and Kylo are evenly matched. Luke, heading toward that darkness, encounters Snoke. This is a big moment. This is the moment in the movie. This is the Luke, I am your father moment in the movie. This moment that everyone waits for, the big plot twist, the whose dad is who or whatever. We got it in Episode 7 with Han and Ben, and everyone wants to know who Rey's parents are. An excellent way for them to get us is to simultaneously reveal two things one after the other. Kind of like what a popular TV show did when people were waiting for a year to see which character would die. You just do it twice. Because then everyone is processing the first time around, your guard is dropped, and then you get another bomb put on you. So what will happen is one after the other, we will be revealed two major plot points. Number one, Kylo will reveal to Rey that he is her brother. And we're in the middle of processing what happened with Rey and Kylo, that we are not ready when Snoke tells Luke that he is Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis the Wise, master of Darth Sidious.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life.
The one that can create life. And he did create life. Rey will be bested by Kylo. She's outnumbered. The Knights of Ren are there as well. And that's when the Millennium Falcon pulls up. Chewie hops out. Kylo Ren leaves Rey to die at the hands of the Knights of Ren, and he goes to face up on Chewie. Another piece from his past that he can sever, that tie to the light side. He goes to face up on Chewie. Like a final piece of his life debt to Han, he won't kill his son. This affects Kylo Ren in a man's best friend kind of way. Because think about it. Chewie had that life debt to Han. Chewie was there the entire time Kylo Ren was growing up. No offense to Chewbacca. No offense to Wookiees anywhere. But in movies, you don't care how many people die. But when that one dog dies, you're like, oh. So in this moment, Chewie's man's best friend. And I think Kylo's going to have that connection with Chewie there. That's when he turns around and sees a Knight of Ren about to end his sister's life. He flies over and puts a blade through him, saving his sister's life, which was actually a part of the vision in The Force Awakens. Or so I believe. I mean, that could be Kylo's lightsaber through a Knight of Ren. Or someone about to kill someone, who I believe is Rey. Hux, who has been waiting for Kylo to slip up in this fashion, pulls up with his fleet to see Kylo Ren being overwhelmed by his own Knights of Ren, while Finn, Poe, Chewie, and Rey are fending for themselves, being pushed into a corner by Hux's First Order fleet of troopers. Snoke tells Luke as Plagueis, he created Anakin. Plagueis used Sidious as a pawn. Plagueis created the Skywalker lineage. He is the reason Skywalkers exist. He is basically telling Luke that he non-consensually impregnated Luke's grandmother, Shmi Skywalker, and that was Anakin. He tells Luke he was made by the dark side, and the entire Skywalker bloodline is born from the darkness. Like that, Snoke is gone. Never actually physically being in front of Luke, only using Leia to communicate with Luke. Luke pulls back his robe, revealing his lightsaber. He hasn't turned it on the whole movie, and now he's Skywalker furious. With Kylo and Rey being overwhelmed by the Knights of Ren and the First Order troopers finally converging on Poe, Finn, and Chewie, all seems lost, until First Order heavy weaponry seems to crumple like paper. AT-STs falling, whatever type of spaceships they have there falling from the sky, whatever it is. And in the smoggy, rainy darkness of Endor or wherever, you just see a green lightsaber turn on. And Luke, who has now gone full Super Skywalker, completely handles everyone in sight in a ruthless fashion, the likes that has only been seen so far by Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One. Imagine that, but instead of Vader, it's Luke. And Luke is infinitely more powerful than that Vader. So he should have troopers blasting each other under mind control while he dashes between others super fast, throwing his lightsaber. Almost as crazy as how Yoda fought, except way sexier than that scene. Darker too, because this is a Skywalker, and he is murdering everyone, furious at hearing this news of his lineage, destined to be evil. He kills all the Knights of Ren in an instant. They don't stand a chance. Luke, blindly raging, goes to kill the final Knight of Ren, and almost takes out Rey, who is now standing between Luke and Kylo. She stood in front of Luke's lightsaber to protect Ben Solo, and Luke cut her hand off in the process. He snaps out of it with the help of a brief vision of Yoda and Obi-Wan calling to him. Luke is broken. He's filled with doubt, scared of his own strength. Now certain of his doomed family lineage, the gang carries him onto the Millennium Falcon. They all hyperspace jump to safety. Leia is captured by the First Order. Lando Calrissian is dead. Rey has her hand cut off. Luke is unstable with the light, and to top it off, they have to get a gravely wounded Kylo Ren in a bacta tank, because they're going to need all the help they can get. Cue credits.